The Dallas Mavericks are winning the NBA championship. I'm going to say that with full confidence. I'm willing to be wrong. Heck, I'm wrong an awful lot. There's videos of me on the BBALL Daily channel saying LaMelo Ball was probably never going to be an NBA player. I thought Dragan Bender was going to be great. And I'm not going to lie, I was Team Simmons over Team Embiid in 2019 after Embiid had gotten in a couple of injuries and Simmons was looking like a star. So I'm going to be wrong a lot. When you make videos talking about the sport on the internet, you're going to be wrong an awful lot. But I'm not wrong about this one. The Dallas Mavericks are going to win the NBA championship. They have the perfect run-in. They had the perfect end to the season. And they've got two guys that if one of them is off, the other one can just play. This is the closest thing Kyrie has had to a LeBron James. And you might be saying, oh, but like Kyrie Irving played with LeBron. LeBron played all this defense when he was in Cleveland. Did he? Did he? He just left Harrison Barnes open in the NBA Finals and Harrison Barnes couldn't hit a shot. Luka Doncic is a winner. I don't give a damn if he never wins a ring for his entire life. The guy won Eurobasket, made the All-Star 5 when he was 18 years old. The guy won EuroLeague, won EuroLeague regular season, won the EuroLeague Final Fours, won the ACB. Albeit, he was garbage in the Copa del Rey final when he was 19. If you want to look at Luka not stepping up in a big game, you have to go back to 2018 when they lost the Copa del Rey to an inferior Barcelona team and Luka didn't have a good game. Do you want to know why I remember that so much? I went to the next week when they played Barcelona in El Clasico. I went to the game, bought courtside seats, brought my dad with me, as he used to watch a lot of EuroLeague basketball. And Luka Doncic scored 2 points and got pulled. His coach was so pissed at how bad he played in the Copa del Rey. But that is the last time you have to look. You have to go back for Luka playing a bad game. When it mattered, obviously. Luka is one of the best big game players offensively the NBA has ever seen. And I don't care if he's 25 years old. He is one of the best offensive players ever. He's one of the best. Honestly, he's probably a top 100 basketball player of all time. If you take in totality of basketball, especially what he almost made the Olympic final with Slovenia 3 years ago. They're not going to make it this time because, well, the likes of Zoran Dragic and stuff aren't quite as good anymore. Goran's not going to play, and I mean, Mike Toby's still Mike Toby, but yeah, like the Mavs are just in a perfect situation. They play the Clippers in round one, who they need revenge over. In 2021, I'm convinced if Kawhi stays healthy, they go and win the title. The Clippers win the title if Kawhi stays healthy. Kawhi was healthy for one series, and they were brought to 7 by the Mavs, with Kawhi playing one of the best series of his career. If Kawhi wasn't healthy, the Mavs destroy the Clippers. And then the Mavs go and destroy the Jazz in round 2, who the Clippers beat without Kawhi. And then in the conference finals, probably beat the Phoenix Suns. And then I do think the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Mavs. But if Kawhi's healthy the whole time, Milwaukee Bucks don't beat that Clippers team if they're healthy. The way Terrence Mann, freaking, what's his name, Reggie Jackson were playing, probably don't beat them. But the Mavs get their revenge. They beat Phoenix 2 years ago. They got into the playoffs now as in the best form of the league. They get their revenge over the Los Angeles Clippers. And that's going to be 100 times harder series than it's being made out to be because of even whether Kawhi plays or not. It's that mental block. That's going to be your Jordan. I think it's going to be your Jordan getting over the Pistons. And yeah, the Clippers never amounted to anything. They never won anything. But that's because they choked and Kawhi got injured. That's literally it. They choked in 2020 in the bubble and Kawhi got injured. But you can't say the Clippers weren't incredible in the series against the Dallas Mavericks, and also that the Clippers weren't great in 2021 either. And they were healthy. They played well. They didn't choke either of those. They actually stepped up in those. I think it's going to be that moment. Them getting past the Clippers. They then face probably a young Thunder or a Zionless Pelicans in round 2. I think they have a much better chance against the young Thunder. I just think they match up really well to them. And I think it's going to be like a coming out party of it's going to basically show, is Luka the best player in the world? That series. Because I think he's going to kill Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I just have this weird feeling Jalen Williams is going to ball out in the playoffs. But I think that could go 7, that first round series with the Pelicans. But again, I'm not one who's of belief of like a 7-game series. That 7 games or 2 teams that are evenly matched has to go 7 games. Like we've seen evenly matched teams sweep other evenly matched teams. Like it happens. It's just all about execution at the end of the day. And I don't know whoever executes better between the Pelicans and the Thunder are going to win. The Thunder could do it 4 games in a row. Heck, if we look back at 2018, the Sixers and Celtics was an unbelievably evenly matched series. Celtics executed better 4 games in a row and they sweep them. Like it happens. Or did the Sixers win 1? Either way, it was literally just down to execution. So, when that series comes, I think Mavs just completely outclassed the Thunder. I think the Pelicans are a bit of a trickier matchup because Zion is Zion. Well, that's the best way to describe it. Pelicans do have talent to almost match up to Dallas. Then we get to a conference finals where I can't see anyone other than the Nuggets making it in the West. And that is where we get to see the real best player in the world. Who is that? Whether it is Nikola Jokic or Luka Doncic. That series is going to show who the best player in the world is. While the Celtics steamroll through a terrible Eastern Conference and face a New York Knicks team without their second best player in the conference finals, or maybe a Philadelphia 76ers team with Embiid, I don't know if he'll even have cartilage in his knee by that stage. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll break another bone somewhere, but Embiid's not going to be healthy. You see the Celtics going to walk through the Eastern Conference. And then we're going to see the series, what the biggest series is. Whether the Celtics win, Celtics could beat whoever wins that, and that's just because they're one of the best starting fives ever like put together. Like almost, like they're not Warriors level in 2018 good, but they're not that far off starting five. Bench clearly not as good as that was Warriors teams, but they're not that far off as far as the five is concerned. But at the same time, you've got a series of the 2 best players in the world in Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic. And I think Dallas wins that series. No one on either team's guarding the other one. Like Jokic and Luka are going to counteract each other. You've got Aaron Gordon and stuff who you can throw at Luka, but Luka's too crafty that he's going to kill in the playoff situation. He's going to kill any individual player. The only team that have found a way to even slightly slow down Luka in a playoff series where like that late, maybe the Warriors. In fairness, Wiggins was just otherworldly on defense in that playoff run. But in 2021, what the Clippers did by removing the center position and basically playing switch all on Luka, putting a whole bunch of 6'6" players plus on the floor and switching everything so that Luka Doncic, like they bench Pat Bev, like they literally just played. Like Terrence Mann was their smallest player in their like main team. They switched everything on Luka. Ideally getting Nick Batum switched onto him when he initially started on either Kawhi or Paul George. So that's probably the one way. And I don't know if the Nuggets are necessarily going to be able to do that. Like switching Christian Brown onto him, I think Luka cooks him. Like Aaron Gordon might be able to do a decent job, but I don't think they're going to be able to scheme, to put in a defensive scheme like the Warriors did in 2022 and they didn't even slow him down. They just beat the team. So Luka's going to get his. Jokic is going to get his. Kyrie's going to outplay Jamal Murray. I'm calling that right now. Kyrie's going to outplay Jamal Murray. And like, I'm not the biggest Kyrie stan ever. I don't think he should have even been close to making the NBA 75. A lot of people love him. I think that how pretty his game is gets people to overrate him. But I'm willing to change my mind on Kyrie Irving if the Dallas Mavericks go and win, because we know what Luka's going to do. Luka is going to be like he's been since the first time he set foot on a playoff floor in the bubble, the best player in the world. But if you can have a sidekick like Kyrie Irving play like 2017 Kyrie, or if you can have Kyrie be the single best number 2 in the NBA like he has been, in his defense, he's been the best number 2, better than your AD, or whether you think LeBron is number 2, better than Booker. He's been the best number 2 since the All-Star break. If he can keep that up through the playoffs and get the Mavs to the finals, we're in a situation where it's going to be crazy. And then you've got Dallas versus Boston. You've got Luka in his first finals, and then you have got the Boston Celtics, the team that I fully believe are going to be choke artists. They went 3-0 down against Miami last year. Like, as good as Tatum is, the Dallas Mavericks aren't going to stop them. I think they're going to beat themselves. You've got Kyrie, who's going to want to make things personal against Boston. You've got Porzingis, who flamed out with Luka if you look at podcasts, through his own attitude is the reason why him and Luka flamed out. You're going to want Luka wanting to beat him as well. You've got Kyrie wanting to beat Boston. You've got Boston trying to get ring number 18 to get above the Lakers. And the thing is that the Mavs have got guys, when it really matters, I'm more confident in stepping up. I genuinely think there's no player I'm more confident in a big game than Luka Doncic. Kyrie Irving is one of the top 5 guys. And Jamal Murray and Jokic are probably up there as well. But once they get by them, they face the Boston Celtics. And you've got a bunch of guys that I don't trust in the biggest of occasions. You've got Tatum, who, in fairness, Tatum's played a lot of good Game 7s. As bad as he was in the finals in 2022, I trust Tatum a lot more than I trust some of the other guys. You got Drew Holiday, who I don't know why I don't trust Drew Holiday. I thought he showed, as good as he was sometimes for Milwaukee, he showed a lot of Drew Bledsoe. As good as he was in the Olympics, is not, if you're a role player, it's not that hard to play in the Olympics for Team USA. So you've got that. I don't know what Derek White's going to do. I think he'll just do Derek White things. I don't trust Porzingis in the playoffs. I don't trust that both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to have good games simultaneously enough to beat a duo that I think are going to both average close to 30 throughout the entire playoffs. Mavs are winning. I've been wrong with a lot of things. I predicted the Raptors to go back to back in the bubble.